40 for Rateable Crest Titans.
Coming up in this month's edition of the SeaconUK Rally Show, we've got a ton of Forest Rally action for you as a number of championships come to a head. Not least the MRF Tyres BTDA Rally Series, and it really is a bumper edition. We head to the final round in Wales for the Cambrian Rally, but before that, here's all the action from the Yorkshire on the Track Rod Rally. The Track Rod Rally would see a bumper entry, and the event would actually be split into 3 parts, with our BTDA crews contesting the Track Rod Forest stages, whilst the British Rally Championship and the British Historic Rally Championship would have an extra stage on their itineraries. And it would be those championships kicking off proceedings with a blast through Dalby in the dark on the Friday evening. And in the International Rally, it would be Adrian Formeau and Alexandra Correa who took the early lead of the rally. They were finding it tricky with the slippery conditions, their first time here. A lot of loose gravel to contend with on these iconic stages. Gary Pearson and Daniel Barrett would come here fresh from some tuition from former BRC champion Matt Edwards, and it seemed to be doing the job right on the pace from the start and not letting Formeau get away. The times only 1.4 seconds apart after 12 miles. Stephen Petch and Michael Wilkinson know these forests well, and they were here to try and claim a strong result on their local round. A few mistakes in the stages would slow them a little, but they end the night third. After an atmospheric night in Dalby, we're on to day 2, and Adrian Formeau and Alexandra Correa were finding that there was a lot more grip than the previous night in places, but it was still proving to be a tricky rally on these stages. Thankfully for the pair, they managed to keep things tidy, ending the event with a victory. And that would see them lifting the British Rally Championship trophy with one more round to go this season. Gary Pearson and Daniel Barrett would be delighted with their performance. Their pace had come on a lot at this round, possibly due to that tuition from Matt Edwards, the tyres, the confidence, or a combination of all of them. In any case, they had proven that they were capable of a championship fight now that the full package was working well. And it would be a podium this weekend for Stephen Petch and Michael Wilkinson, something they hadn't seen much of in recent rallies. They were still pushing a bit wide on some of the corners and could have gone a little faster had it not been for going so sideways. But overall, they were more than happy with that finish for this weekend.
Definitely flat. Flat 2 left. 40, 1 right flat, 500. Go. 1 right flat on the crest, 500. 2 left long, and C turns square right round bail. Remember, slow in and cut in just after the bail. 2 left long. There's the first arrow. There you can see the chicane. Slow, really slow in, slower in, slower in, slower in, and then turn in after the bail. 3 left, 3 left, 1 right, 40, 3 left long in, and 2 right over junction in, flat push, push now, flat, 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 200, 1 right long tightens, 6 right.
The historic event would take place over the same stages, including that evening run through Dalby. And fastest of the crews through there would be George Lepley and Dale Bowen in the Mitsubishi Galant VR4, bringing back Group A, even with an overshoot on one of the junctions costing them some time as they got the car pointing back where it needed to go. Second place in the evening stages would go to Seb Perez and Gary McElhaney, out this weekend in the Porsche and clearly enjoying themselves out there. The times were close as well, with just 1.8 seconds back on the overall results to Stefan Stoof and Di Roberts. On to day 2 for the historics here in Yorkshire, and there'd be change at the top of the leaderboard. Although George Lepley went into the day leading, it would be retirement for the Mitsubishi crew on the second stage of the day. Indeed, the top of the leaderboard would change altogether. Jason Pritchard and Phil Clark on a charge, taking the lead of the rally and holding on to that to finish to take a 5.3 second victory. And that win would be over a couple of local crews as well to make things even more impressive. Matthew Robinson and Sam Collis making a very welcomed return to the stages to take the runner-up spot here on the track rod. And rounding out the podium positions would be the other local crew. Part of course, the Yorkshire Rally Mafia, Steve Bannister, Callum Atkinson alongside. What a podium that is. The Track Rod Forest stages would just take place on the Saturday. No night stage to contend with, but the rest of the miles remained for the same as the other events. And it would be a battle out front for the BTRDA honours this weekend, as it was the penultimate round of the series. Over the course of the rally, things at the top wouldn't change too much. The fight was close though, with the top two contenders in the championship swapping times, eventually seeing Elliot Payne and Tom Woodburn coming out on top, making Elliot not only the youngest champion last season, but also now a two-time BTRDA Gold Star champion, racking up those awards and those records. For Aaron Newby and Jamie Edwards, it had been an incredible season and a big fight that had entertained us all. It would be second place though this weekend, and indeed with that, the championship. It had been a tough season and some close battles really characterised 2023. This weekend being no different. The pair finished just 5 seconds off our rally leaders by the end of the day. The event wasn't exactly smooth sailing for everyone though. The third of our championship protagonists, Matt Hurst and Declan Deer, having to retire after the opening stage when they crashed the Fiesta, causing too much damage to continue, limping the car to the end of the stage and into early retirement. Third place on the rally, although not in the fight for the championship, it would be another impressive performance from David Henderson and Chris Lees. A good drive all day would see them just 32 seconds off the Skoda crew up ahead. And talking of impressive performances, once again, Russ Thompson and Stephen Ling would put in a giant killing performance, finishing the rally in 4th place. And of course, with that, the fastest of our B13 crews. They couldn't get to the top of the championship standings, of course, but a good overall result was still on the card, and they had been there in the hunt. Fastest of the two-wheel drive crews will be Ben Friend and Cliffy Simmons. They'd end the event with victory, lying in 13th overall with a good few positions over their closest rivals. A maximum point score then to add to their BTRDA Silver Star campaign. And the chasing crew closest behind them will be Ernie and Karen Graham, taking 17th place overall by the finish of the rally in the Escort. Ernie and Karen also taking 2nd place points in the Silver Star. And taking 3rd place Silver Star points here on the track rod. And it could have been crucial, was Boyd Kershaw, Keegan Rees alongside. Unfortunately, despite that valiant effort, with dropped scores taken into account, this was only a single point gained for this round. In the R2 Rally Cup, it would be a dominant performance for Robert Proudlock and Stephen Brown once again, with around a minute's advantage by the end of the tough 5 stages on these iconic forest stages in Yorkshire. The Silver Star Championship might not have been sewn up for this weekend, but the Bronze Star would well and truly be so. It would be victory for Nigel and Kaz Jenkins in the Nova, taking victory on the event and securing a very emotional championship title celebration as well by the finish. The Jenkins would beat Chris and James Greenall this weekend, the Nova pair finishing a position behind on the overall leaderboard. So at the end of the Track Rod Rally in Yorkshire, with just one more round of the BTRDA Rally Series to go over in Wales at the Cambrian, here is a quick look at how the various leaderboards were decided by the finish. A dramatic finish in the British Rally Championship and the British Historic Rally Championship as well.
Well, it's really nice to have our name next to all the famous name on the trophy. We can be really proud of what we have achieved this season in the BRC. It's been a tough season, and we are really happy to get the trophy.
Really good. It was a bit of a struggle. We thought in that last stage we weren't going to quite make it, but we have done, so happy.
Home soil as well for you. Enjoyed it out there today?
Yeah, you can't get any better, can you? So
quick stages as well. Been nice sitting in the car with him?
Yeah, always. Yeah. Well, it does that just on road sections, to be honest, or anywhere. But no, yeah, it's been a good day. Elliot's put a lot of work in leading up to this event, and you can just see it from the get-go, to be honest. So it's been good fun, and we had a little scare, like he said, in that last stage. So it's a nice feeling to get here now.
You know, the car's been perfect, Jim's been perfect. A lot of pep on the notes, you know, to follow Elliot home only within 5 seconds. Well happy with that. Secures a second in the championship now, so well happy. You know, couldn't have gone any better today. Yeah, there's a huge thanks to everyone that's on the car, you know, Pirelli, Old School Brewery, Tatham Tyre Services, everyone's just helped me out so much this year, if you know what I mean. So yeah, to finally get that championship, second overall, first year, couldn't be any happier.
Yeah, it's challenging. Slippy at the beginning, and then in the afternoon was some drier stages, and then some slippy stuff as well. But difficult rally.
Did you manage to miss the rain? The rain came early on in the Gale Rig stage for us, but did you guys manage to miss that?
No, we saw it.
So that will have made the stages very slippy. Obviously, the top surface has been polished off by the two-wheel drives, and you guys have got to run on that. So, how did the day pan out for you guys? Any issues for you throughout the day?
Yeah, I was a bit typically too cautious starting, so dropped a little bit of time at the beginning, and then it improved a bit from there, but too scrappy an afternoon really. So we just kept losing bits of time. I think I just really was just being a gentleman and staying out of the championship fight.
After the long, fast straights of the Track Rod Rally, the championship battles would move to the technical stages and the equally iconic special stages of the Cambrian Rally. Stages that have seen the world's best in recent years on Rally GP, now playing host to the final round of the MRF Tyres BTDA Rally Series and the British Rally Championship, as well as being the penultimate round of the Pirelli Welsh Rally Championship. It's an all-star lineup in Llandudno. With the International Rally taking place over an extra stage, we'll first take a look at the Interclub Rally and the BTDA and Welsh Championship runners. And with our champions and runners-up not here this weekend, it will be a chance for others to get some valuable points and perhaps make a few points that don't count towards championships. And in the case of Russ Thompson and Stephen Link, that was very definitely the case. An opportunity for a victory, taking a well-deserved and overdue overall rally victory. Although the car was making some awful noises as it crossed the finish line. So they'd have been glad just to make it back to that final road section and back to the finish. That result securing them a third place finish overall in the BTDA Gold Star Championship as well. What a season for the Blue Evo pair. Second place was a returning name to the championship. Luke Francis and John Roberts, the pair hadn't been out for some time and were back out this weekend in the R5 Fiesta. They seemed to enjoy themselves despite some issues along the way, including a puncture. But they managed to hold out and get that second position by the finish on their home rally, a rally which has been so kind to them in terms of silverware over the years. Hopefully a sign that the pair will be making a full-time return in the 2024 season. In third place, it was the VW Polo of Andrew Purcell and Andy Hayes. A strong result considering the pair had picked up punches in 2 of the day's stages. Daniel Sigurdsson and Asta Sigurdottir wheel out a Fiesta Rally 2 for the first time after campaigning their more familiar Mitsubishi Evo. And it was smiles all round in the car. Clearly, they got used to things very quickly, managing to take 4th place by the end of the rally. As far as the 2-wheel drive crews were concerned, we'd see Catherine McCourt and Liam Moynihan out in an escort this weekend. Preparation for a run on the highly anticipated Roger Albert Clark Rally in a few weeks' time. Clearly the pace we know they have in a Rally 2 car was still there in the Mark II. The pair were fastest by 8 seconds by the finish of the rally. And that 8 seconds was over this man, Adrian Hetherington, Ronan O'Neill alongside as ever. A pair we know are not slow themselves by any stretch of the imagination. also out this weekend, putting in some important miles ahead of the upcoming RAC. Now we know the Silver Star Championship battle was still to be concluded here at the final round. For Boyd Kershaw, the Flying Kiwi, and Keegan Rees, it would be victory on the event, about as much as they could have done. But as far as the championship goes, it was simply out of their hands. The best 6 scores, from 8 counting, meant that they had to drop a good score. And the points would mean they end up taking second place in the championship by just a single point. So Silver Star champions for 2023, hard fought and deserved, adding it to their British historic rally title from a couple of years ago, would be Ben Friend and Cliff Simmons. They didn't have the best of rallies this weekend on the Cambrian, but it was enough to secure them top place in the standings by the end of the season. They take the title by just that 1 point. Robert Proudlock and Stephen Brown unfortunately wouldn't make it out of the final stage this weekend, but they'd already done enough to secure themselves a victory in the BTRDA R2 Rally Cup this season. A 4-point lead by the end. The Bronze Star had, of course, already been sewn up by Nigel and Kaz Jenkins, but that didn't stop them ending the season in style. Victory on the final round in the Bronze Star as well. A strong victory for the pair to finish off a fantastic season. They did have a close battle on the stages though, which we all enjoyed, didn't we? With former BTRDA Bronze Star regulars Dave and Freddie Brick. Very much a benchmark in this series over the year. The pair only 5 seconds back from the similar and title-winning Nova up ahead by the finish. Hopefully, we'll see them return to the series along with the Jenkins for Battle Royale in 2024. So before we move on to look at the International Rally, here's a reminder of the overall results for our inter-club contenders. The Cambrian Rally would play host to the final round of the British Rally Championship, and newly crowned champion Adrian Formeau wasn't here due to WRC commitments. We can forgive him, can't we? But there were still some places to be decided, as well as some non-championship crews here to get in the mix and entertain us on these iconic special stages. Fastest throughout the day would be a returning contender, Tom Cave, Dale Furness alongside, first time back out in a while. After a short test prior to the event, they seemed to be back in the groove in no time at all, leading the rally throughout the day and taking victory at the finish by an impressive 21 seconds.
So crest 100, remember, slippy entry, latest 3 left, adjust in. 30, 5 left on crest, okay, 40 down, turn 2 right, around bale, wide, surface, into 6 right of a 100. Tightens on long crest in, 20, late 4 left plus, tightens around bale, grip, wide, 80, down mid, slippy, 5 right plus, shaft, caution, keep, 30. 6.
And that victory would be over Gary Pearson and Hannah McKillop. After their stunning performance last time out, they were there to secure second place in the British Rally Championship, and they did exactly what they needed to do, nailing the brief with a good mix of pace and keeping it steady as well to get to the finish. Third place would be a big name, Max McRae, Cameron Fair alongside. This wasn't McRae's first time out in four-wheel drive, but it was the first time in a Rally 2 car. The pair would suffer an overshoot and a spin in the early part of the rally as they were just finding their feet in the new car. But once they got used to things, it was a good and pretty slick run to take the final step on the podium, and a popular one it was as well. Ollie Mellors and Ian Windrus, though, would be lucky just to get to the end of the rally. They have a big moment in stage 2, knocking the rear of the car, resulting in some moments later in the morning, shall we say, including a trip through a fence into a field on the 3rd stage. But despite their problems, they do make it to the finish, and with a pretty strong 4th place overall, no doubt, though, ruining what could have been without those issues. And in 5th place, it was the first of the 2-wheel drive crews. Jack Brennan and John McGrath over from Ireland in the Peugeot 208, pitting themselves against the BRC Junior regulars, coming away with 5th place overall and fastest of our two-wheel drive crews. Pretty impressive. The fastest of the BRC Juniors by the end of the event would be Kyle McBride and Liam McIntyre. They were in a championship fight, but it was out of their control. They did everything they could, but would end up taking 2nd place here on the event. That was enough for 2nd place in the championship as well. And speaking of champions, it would be a victory in the Junior BRC for Kyle White and Sean Topping after 3 years of trying. They had some problems to contend with as well with the running of the car all day, so just had to get to the finish, but victory came to the patient in the end. So we reached the end of an exciting Cambrian rally and a fitting finale to what had been a spectacular season in all of these championships. Here's how the results ended up.
Yeah, it's been a great day. Really enjoyed it. I was really nervous this morning, I'll be honest. It was going into the first stage. It's been a long time since I've been in a car like this, and I really had to sort of have a word with myself. But yeah, once we got the first one out of the way, the nerves settled down, and then we settled into a really good rhythm, and yeah, thrilled to get the win.
That's all we've got time for in this month's SeaconUK rally show, but I'm sure you'll agree we crammed it full of rally action for you from iconic special stages in the forests. Join us next month when we catch up with all of the action from the start of the MGJ Engineering Circuit Rally Championship from Alton Park and Cadwell Park, as well as catching up with the final round of the Pirelli Welsh Rally Championship, the Wydene stages. We can't wait. We'll see you then.
Here, 40 for Raidable Crest Titans.